Oh, yeah. We're cooking with gas here. Welcome back, everybody, to the Pat Flynn Show. It's always a joy to see you. Cheers. We are live streaming this podcast. So do me a favor if you're just hopping in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know what you're drinking. If you can see me right now, you see I have a little dentist cup. Isn't this adorable? This will be my beverage for our conversation on the 12-minute kettlebell workout. I have a new creation for all of you. And I teased this creation out to my email list earlier this week. I've gotten some really good feedback, and I wanted to share it with you, give some of the theory behind it, help you understand what this workout is, how to use it. And then I would love to get your feedback. I'd love to hear your feedback if you already did it, but certainly what you think moving forward. And it's a cool kettlebell complex because it's actually from a program, an upcoming program that I'm designing called Kettlebell 3, which will complete the original kettlebell trilogy. We had Kettlebell 1 earlier this year. That was a program that was entirely one kettlebell, just a relatively heavy kettlebell. I recommended a 28 kilogram for most men and around a 16 kilogram for most women. For experienced kettlebell users, obviously you would adjust that depending on how long you've been playing with kettlebells and your fitness level, but that's the idea. A single kettlebell, one kettlebell to rule them all. That was Kettlebell 1. Kettlebell 2 was using what I think is sort of the sweet spot of double kettlebell training, and that is like around 2 by 20 kilogram kettlebells for most gents and like 12-ish kilogram for most women. And that was kind of that was a cool program because we got to explore a lot of the fancy features of double kettlebell training. And then I thought I was going to leave it at that because I'm like, that's kind of all you need, right? You got Kettlebell 1, you got Kettlebell 2, but then people wrote in and they're like, we obviously need Kettlebell 3, where you just take the one heavier kettlebell and the two relatively lighter kettlebells and you combine them all. So you have the hybrid, the blended program. I'm like, that's actually a brilliant idea. And it's not as silly as I initially thought. And I put my thinking cap on and I started writing that program out. And I think we got some really cool workouts. And I want to share one with you called the 12-minute workout. It's a complex. It uses exactly this type of setup. We've got two, and don't worry, I'll put it on the screen in a minute so you can see it all written out in fancy detail. But we've got two relatively lighter. It doesn't mean light, but relatively lighter compared to the single kettlebell. So two relatively lighter double kettlebells. Again, I would recommend probably around 220 kilogram kettlebells for this, for most men, maybe around like 212 for most women. Again, adjust accordingly as you see appropriate. And then one relatively heavier kettlebell, like a 28 to 32 for men, maybe 20 to 24 for most women. And then we're just going to rock just an awesome full body, fat blasting, muscle boosting kettlebell complex. So we're going to get into the details of that in just a minute here. In the meantime, do me a favor for those who are tuning in. Give me a cheers. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you're doing, where you're from, what you're drinking. And if there's any questions I can answer for you, if we have time at the end, we'll do a little bit of Q&A. But one of the things I love about these live streams is the interactive element. Now, if you're just listening on the podcast, no worries. I will have the entire 12-minute complex written out for you. Beautiful little image over on the show notes page at chroniclesofstrength.com. So do not distract yourself if you're driving. Just let me fill your ears with this wonderful training information. So, okay, let me know if you guys can see this. I'm going to put the workout on the screen here. Somebody give me like a grunt of acknowledgement in the comments. Is this visible? Can you see this? I know the text might be a little bit small, but this is the workout in its entirety, the 12-minute kettlebell workout. Now, let me explain some details before we start diving into the specifics. So, this is like the perfect little sippy cup for these types of conversations. I did not get this from the dentist. I know it looks like the little dentist cup that they give you to like rinse out for me, all the blood from your mouth. That's what my dentist always asks me, when's the last time you flossed? And I tell them, don't be silly. You were there. Anyways, to the workout then. So this is a complex, but it's also an Imam routine. So a little bit of background. a complex. It's like a complex within an Imam routine. It's a really interesting hybrid, and I think it's the title of this video is like, is this the perfect workout? I don't know, but I think it's a really, really good one. It's going to cover pretty much all your bases. It's super minimalist. We're going to get strength. We're going to get hypertrophy. We're going to get conditioning. So I would say if you don't have a lot of time to work out and you just have a couple of kettlebells, this would be certainly something that could be very high at the top of your list of bang for your buck routines. I think you're going to dig it. Stevie B says, I'm digging the eye patch, Pat, on the cartoon. There's a story about that. If you guys have seen like last week's episodes where I put the cartoon version of me up, if you pay attention, the back eye is like this wandering, lazy eye. Now, if I actually look like that, you guys have a moral obligation to tell me. Like you can't just let me go around if that's what I look like with me being completely ignorant. Anyway, I told my designer, I said, you got to fix this eye, man. It's like freaking me out. And I didn't even notice it at first. My wife was making fun of me for it. And we went through like 3 or 4 rounds of revisions, and the eye would just point in like different directions every time. It could never be lined up. So it always looked really freaky. It was very disturbing, to be honest. So I said, okay, this isn't working. Here's a novel solution. Give me an eye patch. That way, nobody's going to have any questions or be distracted from my muscles. It'll just, like, pirates are cool anyways, so people will just think I'm cool. Just put an eye patch on the back eye and everything will be fine. And that's what we did. So that's why this cartoon character is wearing an eye patch. So thank you for pointing that out, Stevie. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Now, back to the workout. So it's an Imam routine. Really quickly, for those who aren't familiar, Imam just stands for every minute on the minute. And Imam routines are great because they just force you to work, right? Like, when you're on the clock, you're not going to lollygag. You're not going to be just texting your biddies between sets or all that sort of stuff, because you have to work at the top of every minute. That's how an Imam routine is structured. So every minute there's going to be an assignment, some type of exercise pairing or exercise, and some number of reps. And this is the 12-minute workout. So it will be, you're going to work at the top of every minute for 12 minutes. And the way this works is you'll do whatever your assignment is, and we'll go through this in just a minute, at the top of minute 1. And then however long that takes you is however long that takes you. And then you rest for the remainder of the minute. I hope that's clear. So if it takes you 20 seconds, you have 40 seconds rest. If it takes you 30 seconds, you have 30 seconds rest. Now, in terms of intensity, as we move through this routine, if it's taking you longer than 30 seconds to do these sets, a little bit longer would be fine. Certainly if it's taking you longer than 40 seconds, probably you want to drop the weight back a bit. That would be a good indicator. If it's taking you longer than 40 seconds to do the work prescribed for at any particular minute, drop down a bell size or 2 bell sizes, just in terms of intensity. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to keep up. You're just not going to be able to get it done. Okay, so that's rule number 1. Now, rule number 2, or I guess not rule number 2, but thing number 2, is that we're going to, so for those of you who've been listening to the past couple episodes, we talked about swing, other thing, where we've done these Imam routines where we do a set of swings, and then some other thing. This is almost kind of the reverse of that. We're doing like other thing, set of swing, other thing, set of swing. Now, the other thing for the 12-minute workout is a seesaw ladder. We love seesaws and we love ladders, so we're going to put them together. You see me moving here, doing a little dance for you guys. Give me a thumbs up or a heart or something if you like to dance. We're going to do a seesaw ladder with double press and front squat. And the way this works is we're going to start, very important here, we're going to start with 8 double presses. We know that move. And then we're going to do 1 front squat. And every time we return to that combo, we're going to drop a press and we're going to add a squat. So minute 1, for example, will be 8 double presses. We're going to crank those out. And then we're going to finish with 1 squat. No rest between. That's a mini complex, just a combo. We'll rest for the remainder of the minute. Minute 2, we'll do 7 double presses and 2 front squats. So we see that. So we went down, like we're starting to seesaw. We're going down the ladder on presses, up the ladder on squats. Okay? Grunts of acknowledgement if you guys are following me and this makes sense. I hope this makes sense. So minute 1, 8 double press, 1 front squat. Awesome combo. Rest the remainder of the minute. At the top of minute 2, 7 double press, 2 front squat. Now you're going to be howling at this point. That's not an easy thing to do in 2 minutes with even a moderate amount of weight. So the cool thing here is we get something of kind of a recovery minute. And I say something of kind of a recovery minute because then we switch to 10 two-hand swings with the single kettlebell. So remember, since this is a kettlebell 3 program, we should have 3 kettlebells. We should have a set of 2 kettlebells of equal weight, which are relatively lighter. Again, I'm going to recommend around 2 by 20 kilogram for most men, around 2 by like 12 kilogram for most women. That's what that pair is what you're going to do all the presses and front squats with. But then you're going to have one heavier kettlebell, around a 28 kilogram for men, maybe around a 20, 24 for women. And that's what you're going to do all your swings with. Okay, I hope that's clear. All right. So let me just reiterate for the sake of clarity, because I know some people are listening and they don't see it all written out. So minute 1, 8 double press and 1 front squat, rest the remainder of the minute. Minute 2, 7 double press, 2 front squat, rest the remainder of the minute. Minute 3, 10 double swings. No, I'm sorry, not double swings. 10 swings, 10 two-hand swings with the single kettlebell. 10 two-hand swings with the single kettlebell. So that is, you're still working there. 10 swings isn't like an easy thing. It's not nothing, but hopefully you'll be able to crank those out pretty quick and you'll get a little bit more rest on minute 3, which will give you a little bit more time to recuperate before we go back to the double presses and front squats. So now we're on minute 4. I'm going to keep talking through this. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. We'll jam in the comments here in a minute. But I want to talk through this whole routine so it's clear in your mind. So minute 4, then we're now at 6 double presses. So we're still moving with that seesaw ladder. So 6 double presses, 3 front squats. So you can see how even in 12 minutes, we're going to get a ton of work done. It's going to be relatively high intensity, pretty high amount of density. So this will have a good strength and muscle benefit. I promise you. All right, so minute 4 is, again, 6 double press, 3 front squats. You rest the remainder of the minute. We come around minute 5, 5 double presses, 4 front squats. Minute 6, we're back to 2-hand swings. So we'll do 10 2-hand swings, rest the remainder of the minute. So those swing sets they're still work, but they give you a little bit extra rest, and they're kind of the necessary break you would need, I think, to get through the entire seesaw ladder while staying on tempo, while staying on target. I don't think without the swing sets in here, you would be able to move through the entire seesaw ladder at a decent intensity. I think you would probably get pretty smoked pretty quick. Tough guys could do it. I know we got a lot of tough guys here who tune into the channel, and that's fine. If you're a tough guy, that's cool. But you don't need to do that here. And I think this is better this way. I think it's a lot better this way. It's really intense. It has a good flow where we do the kind of 2-to-1 ratio of the front squat and press seesaw ladder with the swings. Okay, so where are we at now? Now we're at minute 7, if you're following me. And we'll be at 4 double press, 5 front squats, rest the remainder of the minute. Minute 8, 3 double press, 6 front squats, rest the remainder of the minute. Minute 9, 10 two-hand swings, rest the remainder of the minute. Minute 10, we're almost done. 2 double presses, 7 front squats. Minute 11, 1 double press, 8 front squats, and minute 12, 10 two-hand swings, and you are finished with version A of the 12-minute Kettlebell Complex. And version A is for the everyday sane person who wants to be generally fit. Version B is for the psychotic lunatic. And the psychotic lunatic can rest a few minutes and then run the entire thing again and make it not the 12-minute workout, but the 24-minute workout. I do not think you would ever need to run this more than 2 times. 12 minutes by itself is going to be a complete, awesome, totally satisfying full body workout. But if you're just feeling really spunky, really sassy, you could rest. I would allow for like a good 3 to 5 minute rest period, maybe even longer. And then you could run the whole thing again. And chances are you're going to just have one of the best workouts of your life done in under 30 minutes. So not too bad. Do you have any questions? I'm going to go into a few more details here in a minute. Deborah says, this looks great. Looks as great as your super happy fun time kettlebell workout. I'm glad you brought that one up, Deborah. That's, I feel like that's one of my personal favorite routines that kind of slid under the radar a little bit. It hasn't achieved like the same notoriety as my 9-minute workout or my Great Destroyer workout. But the Super Happy Fun Time workout, which you guys can find right on my YouTube channel, it's one of my I bet you can't do this workouts, is such a deliciously agonizing sequence. So if you like the really kind of intense kettlebell complex, if you like this stuff, right, I think you'll love that. The Super Happy Fun Time name was actually that's a name we used to get from Taekwondo drills, where we would just put our arms up and just take kicks in the rib from each other, right? It was kind of just like a toughening drill, and we would jokingly say that was the Super Happy Fun Time drill. And these types of workouts remind me of that sort of agony. It's a different kind of agony, but it's still a very precious agony. So I'm like, we're just going to call that the Super Happy Fun Time workout. So that it was just kind of a throwback to my Taekwondo days. All right. First name, if that is your real name, says it took 5 tries to understand that red image. Minute 1, do this. Yeah, I'm sorry if the image isn't entirely clear. So when it says minute 1 dash, that means this is what you're doing for minute 1. You're going to do 8 double press plus 1 front squat with the double kettlebells. Then you're going to rest the remainder of the minute. Then on minute 2, I probably should have used a colon rather than a dash. I think that's what you're suggesting, and fair enough. Minute 2, you're going to do 7 double press plus 2 front squat with double kettlebells. Okay, now let's talk a few modifications. Modifications are important, right? Because we just want to give people options and opportunities to auto-regulate. So if you're new to this routine, what are some things you can do, or what are some options for variety that you could have? Okay, so say you're doing this and you're kind of working with a moderate intensity, but you're slowing down, you're lagging, your technique isn't keeping up. What are some ways that you could adjust to get through the entire workout? Well, the first adjustment that I would suggest that you make if you need a little bit more rest is not, here's the key. With Imam workouts, I think it's really important that you stay on target. So when it comes to the top of the minute, work at the top of the minute. Excuse me. Coffee is like making me burp, and I'm trying not to be rude. So work at the top of the minute. Try and stay on target for Imam workouts. Important. However, if you feel like you need more rest, the first thing I would suggest is to turn down the number of swings you do on minute 3. So if you're like really huffing and puffing, you're super fatigued, instead of 10 swings, just do 5 swings. Or if that's too much, instead of 5 swings, just do 2 swings, right? Try and do at least 1 swing. But turn down the number of swings you do on any swing set if you feel like you need a little bit more recovery time. And then as you become more proficient at this workout, you can turn the swings back up. So let the swings be kind of an intensity dial for you. If you feel like, yeah, this is just a lot. This is really hard, but I still feel like I want to use the weight that I'm using, then you can kind of turn up and down the number of kettlebell swings you're doing. Because obviously, if you do fewer kettlebell swings, you'll have more time to rest every 3rd minute. Now, if you're adjusting the swing reps and you're still huffing and puffing, I would suggest the second way to modify to try and stay on target is this. You can either start with a lighter set. So maybe you started this with 2 20-kilogram kettlebells. Okay, it's just not there yet. Then start with 2 16-kilogram kettlebells. Or you start with 2 20-kilogram, get as far as you can, but to stay on target, to make sure you're working at the top of every minute. Then you just drop, maybe you're halfway through, then you drop to 2 16-kilogram kettlebells. So when it comes to every minute on the minute training, I think it's important to have a plan B, an option where you can give yourself a way to stay on target and on tempo with the workout without taking extra rest, so you don't stay on target, right? And I think the first option is either turn down the number of swings. The second option is just go a bell size or bell size lighter with the double presses and the front squats. And I think this rep scheme is probably about the limit for where you're going to be. I think we're kind of pushing right up against the limit of how much work you're going to be able to do for an Imam workout per set and actually get through something like this. So I hope that that's clear, and I hope that gives you guys a little bit I hope it gives you some options to get the most out of this workout. As I talked about with Jeff Newport not too long ago, I think having the ability to auto-regulate is really important in these routines. And of course, even if you just got 6 minutes into this thing, like even if you just did 6 minutes of this, that's still a pretty tremendous amount of work. I mean, I didn't do the math here, but add up all the reps you're doing. That's a lot of reps in just 12 minutes. So one of the really cool things about kettlebell complexes and Imam workouts, and if you're really sinister to the level of having an eye patch, I think what you'll find is that few things give you such an efficient and effective form of training. Kettlebell complexes on one hand, super efficient, working through multiple muscle groups and energy systems simultaneously. And Imam, every minute on the workout, every minute on the minute sets on the other hand. And then when you combine them, it's just some strange, sexy magic. All right. Hey, Marianne's with us. Everybody say, Marianne, you guys should know Marianne. She's been on the podcast before, and she'll be on with us again, hopefully soon. Marianne, how are you? Marianne says, just saw that you're live and thought I'd pop in to say hi. Nice workout. Might give it a go. Please do. Let us know if you like it. And we have a few people experimenting with it right now. And I've gotten really good feedback so far. So that's about all I have for you guys today, my friends. I just wanted to share this with you. Again, it's part of the upcoming program Kettlebell 3, which is now available for pre-order. So if you're on my email list, you would have heard about this. But if you want to take advantage of the pre-order discount and score a bonus week worth of training routines, head over to chroniclesofstrength.com/kettlebell3. That is the secret pre-order page. And it's secret because I'm only sharing it with people on my email list and on the live stream right here. And if you're unfamiliar, Kettlebell 3 is 6 weeks of kettlebell training using 2 relatively lighter kettlebells and 1 relatively heavier kettlebell. So it's this workout right here will give you a good idea of the type of training and the relative level of intensity of the workouts featured in Kettlebell 3. So if you dig this, if you like this, you'll definitely enjoy the full 6 weeks worth of programming. And I will also say that if you didn't take part in Kettlebell 1 or Kettlebell 2 previously, we've put those back on sale as well. So you can take advantage of the original Kettlebell trilogy. And that's pretty neat stuff, friends, because those could be collector's items someday, just like the original Star Wars trilogy. Stevie says, so does an eye patch come with the pre-order? Just messing, bro. Super pumped for Kettlebell 3. Hey, this eye patch seems to be catching on. Maybe what we'll do is we'll just like design a strong on eye patch, because the strong on logo, if you guys have seen it, like I feel like that would fit really well on an eye patch. So maybe we could start a movement here, something like that. It's a little bit different. We like to be different here at the Pat Flynn Show and with Strong On. Okay, folks, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Just an impromptu live stream podcast. So do me a favor. If you guys enjoy this stuff, please please subscribe, please leave a comment below. And if you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever, please consider, of course, subscribing if you haven't already and leaving a review. Those gushy, gooey, overly fawning reviews, well, they really mean a lot to me. So fare thee well, friends. We will cue the very cool and official Pat Flynn Show music. And with that, I bid you farewell. Adios.
It's a never